Get off my lawn, you little bastards! Hi. Welcome to another glorious episode of Get Off My Lawn. You may ask why I have my shirt off. Because back in my day, men would just walk around with their shirts off like it was no big fucking deal. Right? We would just like hang out. And now it's like offensive or something. People don't enjoy the gloriousness. I see kids today looking around, right? And they're like ashamed of their bodies or some shit. We never had this problem. Right? And you guys shouldn't be ashamed of your bodies. I saw some of these kids. Right? They got like six-pack abs all in the basketball and shit. Right? I'll tell you this. I've never made a basket in my life. When I was a kid, our video game was the Nintendo World Championships. It was a hell of a sport. You had to do Tetris and Rad Racer, Super Mario Brothers. It might be reversed. I don't know. Who cares? We had good shit going on. Anyway, I'm just kind of lazy. I'm not going to lie. I just didn't feel like putting on a shirt. But we're going to talk today about a very important subject that you guys have no idea about. It's called the Cold War. Alright? Now, hear me out. There was this big fucking country called the Soviet Union. It was like, how do I put this? The Negaverse of the United States. The Shadow Link, if you will. If you don't know what Shadow Link is, get the fuck off my lawn. The dark side to our light side of the Force. Those kind of things. And not the prequel Force. The actual Force. None of that, I'm going to feed you fruit bullshit. Anyway. This is a really big thing that if you grew up in any time before 1992, the Cold War was everywhere. It affected everything. It was a big thing. What happened is the United States had a bunch of fucking nuclear missiles, and the Soviet Union, try finding it on a map. I dare you, go look it up. Go open a world map right now and try to find the Soviet Union. Spoiler alert, it's Russia. Anyway, they had a bunch of nuclear missiles, and we all thought we were going to shoot each other, and a bunch of political shit happened, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm talking about some great Cold War media, some great Cold War stories that came out, some things you should be into, you should like. Like Red Dawn. That was a fucking movie. Okay? Red Dawn. So, a bunch of high schoolers are hanging out in Colorado, right? And they're like taking their math tests and shit, right? And the jock quarterback, Patrick Swayze, look him up. I'm going to do a whole fucking episode on Patrick Swayze. Anyway, Patrick Swayze's, being the quarterback, right? And pretty sure Charlie Sheen's in there too. And C. Thomas Howell. Look him up. Look up Soul Man when a white kid played a black kid playing a white kid. It's good shit. Soul Man. Great movie. Anyway, they're in their high school class. And they're like, learning about Reaganomics and shit. Oh, what's that? What's that coming out the window? Oh, are those soldiers? Are those soldiers parachuting in the middle of Colorado? I know most of you, because of the standards of our education system, have no idea where Colorado is. You probably assume that Colorado is on the coast somewhere. No, it is in smack dab in the middle of America, in the middle of giant fucking mountains. Somehow the Russians came from the continent of Asia, across the Pacific Ocean, along with Cubans, because Cubans and Russians were like, yo, what's up? And they started, like, dropping soldiers in the middle of small town Colorado. And these kids are like, oh shit, soldiers. And then tanks show up, and there's bombings, and Russia takes over Colorado. And all the parents get rounded up in the fences, right? And after partying, because all the parents are gone for a little bit, like, the teenagers are like, oh shit, we gotta do something. So they become the goddamn Taliban. No fucking shit. They become Al-Qaeda against the Soviet Union. They become terrorists. These little, like, 17-year-old, 18-year-old kids, and they take the name of their high school mascot, Wolverines! And they're blowing shit up. They're slaughtering soldiers left and right with knives. This is back when a PG-13 rating actually meant something. Okay, I'm talking like, they're stabbing dudes, they're shooting dudes, tanks are exploding, they're torturing a guy. It's a good movie. I'm just saying, you should go check out Red Dawn. I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix. Not that shitty remake where they originally made it with China and they're like, oh shit, we can't sell this to China. China's the villain. Let's digitize it to North Korea because all Asians look the same. That's Hollywood being racist, not me. I don't think all Asians look the same. I can tell you the difference right now between all kinds of different Asians. Russians do not look like other Asians. I'm going to tell you that. Anyway, another great thing of the Cold War. Little movie called War Games. Now, War Games was about Matthew Broderick back when he was cool, not before he married the horse. Okay, so Matthew Broderick is like supercomputer whiz with his like 56K modem and his 2 megabytes of RAM and his like 5 kilobyte hard drive. He's like, oh, my computer's awesome. And he takes his phone. This is how we used to have to hook up the internet. No shit. You had to take a phone and you had to put it on a little device. Like, you take the phone. Now, I'm not talking a cell phone. I'm talking a wall phone. I know most of you have no idea what that is. But back in the day before cell phones, we had them attached to our fucking walls. And they had a big microphone up here, right? And a big thing down here. And you put it on the side of your face and you hold it like this. Anyway, he took one of these, right? And he'd stick it on the thing and he went... That's what the internet sounds like, by the way. The internet sounds like dying Call of Duty bitches that I'm gonna fucking kill. I'm gonna make you sound like the internet in the 80s. Anyway, they put it on there, right? And he would like log in and change his grades and give himself perfect attendance, and right? And he hooked up with a chick. He's like, oh, I can change grades. Anyway, so he's on the internet and he hooks up with a guy. Right? And this blew my mind when I was like 7 years old. I was like, holy shit, you can hook up with other people over the internet and play video games? That'll never take off. Fuck that noise. Anyway, so he starts playing chess with this dude. He's like, oh, wow, you're really good at chess. You want to play another game? And he's like, okay. And the other guy's like, all right, I've got a game. It's called Nuclear Holocaust. And they start playing a game where Russia's launching nukes, the Soviet Union's launching nukes, and the United States are launching nukes. What Matthew Broderick doesn't realize is he's actually playing against the United States supercomputer because he hacked into, like, NORAD. And he's actually setting off nuclear missiles. This movie was awesome. Anyway, long story short, he beats the computer at tic-tac-toe. World is saved. It's a good movie. Another thing you might not know about the Cold War. We were really scared of the Russians getting to space before us. And they built a space station called the Mir Space Station. And it used to terrify me as a child. The Russians were up there watching us. And there was this guy who was trying to get us to build our own space station, which we eventually did after the Cold War. But he was like, they've got a space station up there. And he released this absolutely terrifying commercial that for some reason always played during my Saturday morning cartoons. And by the way, this is back when Saturday morning actually had fucking cartoons. And not that Wizards of Weirdly Place. Yeah, I looked you up, Jake Austen! I know what you do with your magic stick! I also found drawings of you doing things with a magic stick I don't think you actually do. But you might. Fan fiction is interesting. Anyway, so it would start out with like the globe, right, in space. So like you were looking down on Earth from space, and it would say, right now, millions of dollars of research is being done. New metallurgies are being discovered. New chemicals are being discovered. And new experiments are being conducted, all to advance the Soviet Union. And then underneath the camera would come the Mir Space Station, and it would roll over and show the hammer and sickle, which was the sign of the Soviet Union. That was their flag, the hammer and sickle, right? And it's like, what are you gonna do about it? I was like, oh shit. Oh shit. I'm like 7. I'm like, what am I gonna do about it? I went out and got a little chemistry set. It was pretty sweet. That's the moral of that story. Anyway, the last thing I'm going to tell you about the Soviet Union, right? And how terrified we were that it infected everything in our culture. You really need to go look this shit up. There's a little movie called Rocky IV. Alright? This encapsulates the entire thing. The movie opens with the Rocky theme playing. If you don't know what Rocky is, shut the fuck up and kill yourself. Don't even get off my lawn. I want your dead body fertilizing my lawn because you don't deserve to fucking live if you don't know what Rocky is. Go watch them all, except for Rocky V. That one's terrible. Skip it and go to Rocky Balboa. Don't ask me how Stallone numbers his movies because Rambo went First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, Rambo. I just gave you that as a gift so you don't try to have to figure out how those became, how you have to watch those in order. Anyway, back to Rocky IV. It starts with a dun 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 dun, and then you see these boxing gloves come into frame, right? And one's like an American glove, and one's like a Soviet Union glove. It's like, and the whole fucking screen explodes, right? And it cuts to Rocky, right, like doing his thing, like being a superstar, and then it cuts to Ivan Drago. Now, if Hitler had a fucking wet dream, right, like if Hitler could construct the most perfect human being in his mind, it would be Dolph fucking Lundgren. He's like 7 feet tall, completely ripped, blonde, flat top, blue eyes, and that's what his wife looks like. He's like 8 feet tall. His wife ended up marrying Flavor Flav, by the way. Let's go back to this, right? Dolph Lundgren is playing Ivan Drago. That's how he talks the whole movie. I'm Ivan Drago. Anyway, he's like the amateur boxing champion, right? And Rocky and his best friend and former rival, Apollo Creed, a.k.a. Muhammad Ali, it's pretty much Muhammad Ali, are watching Ivan Drago like run through the amateur ranks, and Ivan Drago wants to come over to America, compete professionally, and win the American Championship of Boxing. Apollo Creed's like, fuck that noise, I'm America! And he's like, I'm gonna come fight Ivan Drago and show him the shit. So they get in a fight, right? And Ivan Drago comes out of the ground like he's coming up from hell in this fight, right? And you think, okay, that was a pretty cool entrance. He's got a little smoke and stuff, and Ivan Drago's just like looking around for something to fucking kill. And then Apollo comes out dressed like Uncle Sam to living in America. To living in America, like living in America. Oh yeah, and like fucking Apollo Creed's like America, and they get in a fight. So they start boxing, right? And they go to like clink the gloves at the beginning, right? So Ivan Drago clinks Apollo's gloves, and Apollo's gloves go, and then Apollo clinks Ivan Drago's gloves, and Ivan Drago's gloves go like he's a fucking rock. And he proceeds to murder Apollo Creed. Just beat the ever-living shit out of Apollo Creed. And at the end of the match, after he's beaten Apollo Creed, right, the reporter runs up to him and he's like, Ivan, what if Apollo Creed does? And no shit, he looks at the screen. This was like in the trailer. It shouldn't make you want to see the movie alone. This one line. If he does, he does. Holy shit, right? What is Rocky going to do against the goddamn Terminator from Russia, right? Not the Austrian Terminator, that was all Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm talking the Russian Terminator, Ivan Drago. Anyway, so Rocky's like, shit, man, I let Apollo die. I gotta go fight. I'm gonna go fight in Russia, man. I'm gonna go fight in Moscow on Christmas Day. America. He goes there, he's in Moscow, he's running, he's doing stuff. So then they do the training montage. And you have to understand, every Rocky movie is like 80% montages. So he's going to train to fight Ivan Drago. And so they do like this opposing montage. So Ivan Drago's like on your treadmills, and he's getting steroids, and he's like punching shit, and like punching it with like 8,000 pounds of pressure per square inch. He should just turn Rocky's skull to dust at this point, right? And Rocky does it old school. Rocky's running up mountains. He's running in the snow because he's fucking American. He picks up a wheelbarrow full of wood on his shoulders, and he runs with that, right? And he grows the big fucking American beard, and he's going to show these Soviet bastards what for, right? So they're in Moscow. They're going to have this fight. They're going to have this fight. America versus the Soviet Union. Capitalism versus communism. It's going to be fucking great. And Rocky gets in there, and Ivan Drago punches him in the face. And Rocky stumbles back and he goes, "That all you got? That all you got?" And then Ivan Drago punches him in the face again. And Rocky's like, "That all you got?" And the first like 2 rounds is just Ivan Drago beating the shit out of Rocky. He's getting tired. And then Rocky comes back. He's like, poof, 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 poof. And Ivan Drago's like, oh, no, no, no. And Rocky's like, bah, 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 bah. And Ivan Drago's like, oh, no, no, no. And then they start getting even, right? Because they both had like 2 rounds, right? So now they're even, right? And they're in their corners, right? And the crowd is chanting, Soviet Union, Soviet Union, Soviet Union. And Ivan Drago turns to them and he goes, I fight for me, not for you. And he starts beating up Rocky, but Rocky won't give up. Rocky won't go down. And then, no shit, the Soviet Union crowd, the Russian crowd, the antithesis of America, starts chanting, Rocky, Rocky. And Rocky's feeling it. Rocky fucking hulks up. Rocky's like, yeah. And he just knocks Ivan Drago the fuck out. And then, no shit, the Soviet premiers, the Soviet presidents and shit, they get up, slow clap for Rocky. This is how the Cold War ended, by the way. Rocky, this is historical fact. Rocky brought the Cold War to an end because he's standing in this crowd and this whole crowd is chanting, Rocky, Rocky, in a Russian accent. So I'm assuming it's like, Rocky, Rocky, Rocky. Anyway, and he's like, look, man, if I can change, you can change, maybe we can all change. We don't need to fight no more. And that's how the Cold War ended. That's pretty much the entire history of the Cold War. You should probably take a school class on it, but I've given you the basic points. Red Dawn, Rocky 4, whatever the hell I talked about in the middle, because I'm fucking tired. You know why I'm tired? Because I was up all night last night playing goddamn Call of Duty, and you sons of bitches, my mother is not a whore. She's dead. Why? Why do you do it to me? And then I got this really cool machine gun, and I was like, oh shit, I finally killed the dude. No shit, I killed this guy, and I was like, yeah, I killed the guy. And then sniper shot. I don't know what happened. And then the teabagging started, and it wouldn't stop. I hate you bastards. None of you are allowed on my lawn if you play Call of Duty. None of you. All you other people can come and hang out. It's all right. But, yeah, look up the Cold War. It's important. And try not wearing a shirt, especially you ladies out there. It's very comfortable. You can not wear a shirt when you're around me if you want. It's cool. It's all right. Till next time. Get off my lawn!